Well, welcome back. I'm Alexander Hollywood Diamonds, and this is 1Hollywood1, empowered by 1MiracleEnergy1. Every day we wake up, we're given another chance to make this day the greatest day of our lives. And for those who didn't wake up today, we can only wonder if they lived their lives to the fullest, as if each day might be their last. One day it will be ours. So there's a simple choice. Either take our time on this earth for granted, or we choose to live the miracle of being alive. 1Hollywood1 is about celebrating your life through music, dance, performance, TV, film, and storytelling. Celebration is not just having fun. It's enjoying what you do, why you do it, and because you want to be able to feel that as much as possible while we're here on this earth. 1MiracleEnergy1 is the energy that makes up everything all around us, always inside us, and the life force that never dies. The power within is your intuition, that inner voice that's always been there, guiding you towards your life, the one that you were meant to live. As a child, you trusted it. You believed in it. This show isn't here to convince you of anything. It's here to remind you of what you already are and what you already have. Think of this show as a mirror, reflecting back the truth that never left you. You're not here by accident. If something's been missing, it isn't out there somewhere. This is all a part of you. And you are a part of it. We are all here to help us remember that the power within us, all of us, is there to help, support, and strengthen our body, mind, and soul. And that is what we're going to do here. Just so you know that this is only the beginning of the cornucopia of plenty that has always been available to you on a silver platter all your life, and will always be available to you. It's still inside of you, waiting to be remembered. 1Miracle1Energy1 is all around us. It's everything that is, it exists, hard, life, not alive, atoms, planets, materials, wood, skin. It's all made up of energy. And the thing about energy, remember, it doesn't die. We may pass as this essence of what we are and may not exist in the way we know life is, but energy does. Energy is everywhere. You feel it. People know there's something there. It's no difference than what we talk about ions in the ocean when you feel great. It's just that there's ions more in the ocean area, negative ions that make you feel positive. Strangely, they call it negative ions, but it's positive energy. So that positive energy is everywhere. All around it. Everything's made up of it. You knock on wood, you pick up a plate, whether it's alive or not, it's made up of energy, and that doesn't die. And we want to remind you of that, so you have that in your thinking process and your sensing process, so we can go forward and use this premise and base as your place, should you wish, to be able to start harnessing and accessing that which is already a part of you. So, I'm Alexander Hollywood Diamonds, empowered here by 1MiracleEnergy1, and this is 1Hollywood1. Let's talk a little bit about astrology and destiny. You know, astrology, horoscopes, and destiny are often talked about like they're the same thing, but they're not. Astrology is a map. It's based on timing, cycles, and patterns that repeat. It shows tendencies, seasons, and energy shifts just like weather. It doesn't force anything. It simply says, this is the climate you're in. Horoscopes are a daily snapshot. They're short, broad, meant to spark reflection, not control decisions. If you read one and it resonates, great. If it doesn't, that's fine too. It's a mirror, not a command. Destiny. Now that's different. Destiny isn't written in the stars. It's written in choices. You can be born into a stormy season and still build a wonderful life. You can have all the favorable signs and still walk away from your own potential. Astrology may show the conditions. Destiny is what you do with them. That's where the power within comes in. Your intuition helps you navigate the map. You're not here to obey fate. You're here to participate in it. You don't have to believe it. Just notice it. It's there. This we're going to be talking about a little bit more in another segment in another few minutes. But it's really important for you to feel right about whatever you do. If you're doing horoscope and astrology because you want to get the layout and the feel of what's out there to tell you what's going on with you, there's nothing wrong with that. But you don't have to be limited to just that either. You have inside a built-in guidance system. It's always talking to you. It's always telling you what's right and wrong, but most of us stopped believing it a long time ago. It's meant for you to trust it. You see, it gives you what you sense around you. You sense people, but sometimes you don't want to believe it. Animals have instincts that they feel good about certain people and they don't feel good about others. These are the instincts we all have. This is the intuition and the power within. Most people do not create an implicit status of their intuition. Most people are comfortable, well, maybe not comfortable, let's put it, say they're conditioned. They're conditioned to stay within a sphere of what's an appropriate way to live by teachings, cultures, laws, rules, regulations, which in a civilized world, that's what we believe we need, because we need structure so there's not chaos. Is there a little bit of chaos now? I would say so. So even so, when you have structure, you still have chaos. So what do? You don't have to follow the herd. You can also be part of your own individual journey. Nothing wrong with following the herd because herds help each other. But to individualize your life means following what you really want to do, what you really want to be. Not necessarily in professional aspects, but in personal guidance. What do you want to do? What do you want to say? What do you want to believe in? This is where the power within you and everyone is your implicit intuition. So you don't have to trust it implicitly if you don't want to. There's nothing wrong with that. But you probably will miss out on a guidance system that's already prepared and built for you as you learn to help you guide what it is you want to do. So we'll talk about more about implicit intuition and the power within as we go along in the different series, because it's our third episode. So we're in the preliminary stages of getting involved in a lot of this. Who am I? Well, I've been around since, I'm not going to tell you how long. It's been a while. I can say I'm a little bit over 21. I can't tell you how much because I'm going to let you find that out as you go along too. But here's a couple of pics that I had when I first started. And it'll give you an idea of what Alexander Hollywood Diamonds was looking like a while back. So, had a little bit of a split right in the middle. I hope this is not one of the pictures that's still in one of the post offices. At that time, I had just started my career, I guess you would call it, in Hollywood. I had just come here. It was all brand new to me, and I was all excited. I was writing music. I had been writing since I was 13. I figured, well, if I'm writing something, maybe somebody will like it. I won't tell you if you liked it or not, but we'll be playing some of the music later on. Maybe not today, but we'll go. But here's one of the first modeling things I landed a while back. And as you can see, this is a very old newspaper from the LA Times. It is also a few years older than, well, I'm not going to tell you yet. I will reveal all these secrets as we go along. But if you take a close look, you see that the guy running here with a hat, that's me. That's me. It was one of my first projects here in Hollywood. And, we'll hold it up a little bit longer. You can see it. That was for the news, that NBC News. What's a lady like you doing in a place like this, like if she was being, if our lady cop was being in danger, which they have been. At any case, at that time, I also tried out, I think it was for a pageant for men. How about that? It was a this is an old piece. It's all been damaged with water damage. But this was the Models Guild of California. They were looking for a Male America pageant. I didn't have to wear a bikini or anything like that. But wasn't a whole, I think it was 17 at that time. I'm not sure how much modeling potential I had, but that was me right here. Right here. Let's see, right there. Yeah. Like I said, I'm a little bit over 21 years of age, so I'll tell you later how much. At any case, the Hollywood bug, I don't know what we call it, a bug, it was just a magnet. I just felt compelled. I had sold books door to door in Nashville, Tennessee. Nothing great, but I was recruited from the University of Arizona from a friend of mine, and he convinced me to go to sell books for the summer and make some money. He had made about $5,000 or $10,000, and back then, I'm not going to tell you how far back then it was. That was a lot of money. A lot of money for a college student to have for the rest of the year. He did very well. I did okay. I came back a little early. I was going to do some of the things. I was involved in bands and such. But I figured if I can sell books door to door, why can't I just have my music and go out to Hollywood and start recording? So that's what brought me over. It was a dream, not a fantasy. I always wanted to make music. So I trekked over from my hometown. I'm from Douglas, Arizona. And there's a couple of claims to fame there, but I'll hold back and reserve those as we go along. But I also had a few very important things that happened in the miracle version, which I'll get back to you later on. I'll show you on some of the episodes some of the things that happened to me. But this is the reason why I got here in the first place. But let's get into that epigram that we were talking about a little while ago, and destiny. Destiny really, I didn't mention the epigram yet, but the epigram I'm talking about is destiny is not just a matter of chance. It's also a matter of choice. See, we somehow allow or have allowed, or some of us have allowed, or many of us have allowed destiny to take its place, and we follow it the way it is. But you know that you have the opportunity to make your destiny regardless of what the circumstances are. You can choose to make decisions, even if it seems like they're not going to make any headway. What you're doing is you're forging yourself. You're becoming a person who will seek and find ways that you feel are what you wanted to do anyway. That the way in the direction that you want to go, where you want to be, how you want to be looked at and respected for who you are, who you're becoming. See, we get conditioned to be away from that and follow all this other fates that come by, and then you're kind of pulled like a magnet for those fates. No matter what happens, you feel like, what can I do about it? You can do something. You can make some changes. The changes that you've always believed in are inside you. So destiny is not just a matter of chance, it's a matter of choice. That's correct. Sometimes when you're going against the grain, doesn't mean you're going to get what you want out of it, but you would never have known if you hadn't pushed the envelope and pushed the limit to follow what you felt was right and believed in. That's what sensing, intuition becomes implicit. When you sense and you reflect somebody because you sense them, everybody that I've ever met wants to be sensed by somebody else without having to explain who they are. They don't want to be taken advantage of. There's a big difference. So all of us who have this wonderful intuition can use it in so many different ways by interacting. Whenever I encounter somebody who has that implicit intuition, it's kind of like a Woodstock and a Snoopy encounter. It's like a gathering of two friends that have always been friends. So you have the power. It's always been with you. We all have intuition. We all have that belief system in ourselves. But many of us have forgotten it or let it go or believed in other factors. They tell you to grow up. They says this is what you have to do to be responsible. So sometimes you're making decisions instead of for yourself, for someone else. What will they think of me if I act or do this? Well, what are they thinking of you now when you're not acting and doing what you really want to do and be? How are you going to become the person you want to become if you don't follow who it is you want to be? That's what implicit intuition will take you for. It'll take you to those steps. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a constant challenge. You have to make decisions that are tough and that are difficult to make. And some people won't understand what you're doing. So it's best to start to learn privately. Learn to become the best you can be privately. Nobody has to know what you're doing. So when you do that, follow your instincts, follow your intuition. What do I really want to do? Now, if it doesn't turn out the way you wanted, well, there's nothing wrong with that. You may want to still continue and say, I'm going to persevere. Or you might say, you know something? This wasn't for me. But I wouldn't have known that if I didn't take the step forward. Intuition becomes implicit when you trust it every single day and every single time it comes up, and it's always there. And you follow it with discretion. Discretion is the better part of valor. You don't put yourself in harm's way just to put your intuition up there because your intuition is telling you that's in harm's way. You have to allow your intuition to work to protect you. That's what destiny is, not just a matter of choice, but also not just a matter of chance, but also a matter of choice. We're going to be touching upon different parts in our show. So 1Hollywood1, empowered by 1MiracleEnergy1, and the power within. It's what Alexander Hollywood Diamonds is bringing to you. This is a place for you to explore and expand. We will have a lot of different opportunities to develop that. Most of them will be free. I will let you know we're working on things that will be a cost, but most of the stuff is going to be free or very little expense. So we're not talking about having you become involved with a tremendous amount of expense. It's really your time, what you want to do. Now, we do have the reality of scammers and hackers. We've talked about the instincts and red flags. Now let's look at the scale of the problem so you can see how real it is. It's important because this is a factor that we're dealing with all the time. Every year, fraud and cybercrime are exploding worldwide. Global financial losses from cybercrime. The last estimates show that there in 2024, worldwide losses from cybercrime are expected to hit over 8.5 trillion. That's 8.5 trillion. This is not just a business. That's households, retirees, everyday people. 1 in every 3 adults reports being targeted by a scam in that last year. That means someone just like you got a suspicious call, a message or offer that could have cost them money or personal data. Over 3.4 billion phishing emails are sent every day worldwide. That's billions of messages trying to trick people into giving up information. Identity theft is up sharply. In the U.S., The Federal Trade Commission reported that identity theft cases climbed over 50% compared to 5 years ago, and payment fraud jumped even more. Ransomware demands have skyrocketed. Attacks that encrypt files and demand payment have increasingly gone up nearly 150% in 2 years. Hospitals, school systems, small businesses, no one's immune. These numbers aren't just statistics on a page, they represent families, savings accounts, reputations, peace of mind. And hackers and scammers aren't just overseas operators anymore. They're organized, networked, and increasingly smart with social engineering, meaning they trick not just computers, but people. So what do we do about it? Slow down. If something pressures you to act fast, it's a scam tactic. Check before you trust. Look up the person, the company, the contract. Real institutions let you verify. Use intuition as a radar, not a boss. If something feels off before you think it fully through, that's your inner alert. Awareness doesn't make you paranoid. It makes you prepared. And prepared is the first step towards protected. Awareness isn't paranoia. It's protection. So take it for what it's worth, because it's worth a lot. You don't want to be a victim. Scammers can be taken care of from the very get-go if you just stop and find out. Ask. Don't press any buttons. Don't give them what they want. Look into it. There's a lot of ways to look into it, and we're going to help you with that. We'll have things set up so you can call in and find out. Hackers are a little bit different, because you don't have to be on the phone, or they don't have to contact you for them to hack into any system. But there's ways to at least try to minimize the damage and what you can do afterwards if and when you become a victim. That's what we're here for. To encapsulate a lot of the things that we're all running through right now. A lot of us are being confronted by these things. So feel comfortable that you can be a good participant and start protecting what's important to you. Now, another thing that we're going to be covering is charity highlights. Now, I will have 6 charities that I've always believed in, and what we're going to be doing is helping, number 1, the animal kingdom, first responders, the law enforcement, firemen, the people who give first aid, the emergency response systems, all people who put their lives on the line to help people in emergency situations. We're going to be doing homelessness. If we have such a major problem worldwide with homelessness, and whereas there is plenty of food to feed everybody, but for whatever reason it's not being done, not the way enough to show a difference. Now it's getting worse. I have a SAG-AFTRA foundation that I learned after I was in SAG for over 25 to 30 years, that they offer a program to become a voiceover artist, and I was very impressed with it. I got a tremendous amount of training for very little. It was just because I was a SAG member, it didn't cost me a dime. But they work on donations only, so that's one of my favorite foundations as well, to help talent come up to become good entertainers and people who help and become voiceover artists. So I believe that's a part of my giving back to the system. We have Green Planet. And it's an important factor that we need to take care of our planet, because if we don't, who is going to do it? We're putting it in a position where it's very, very polluted. We need to start working together to keep it healthy for our own health. The planet can outlive us. We can't outlive the planet. And kids anti-bullying and suicide prevention. It's a vital system that right now it's not helping as much as it needs to. We have a lot of problems in school. Kids get bullied. Circumstances of situation with the young people who feel they have to take and lash out and cause some major tragedies. So we want to address those issues. We need to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. So today's highlighted charity is the animal kingdom. They don't have a voice in our system. They depend entirely on human choices, good or bad. Every day, animals are abandoned, abused, overbred, displaced by government, yet they give us loyalty, comfort, protection, unconditional presence. Many of us have been saved emotionally by an animal at some point in our lives, whether we realize it or not. Supporting animal charities isn't just pets. It's about responsibility, compassion, and balance. How we treat animals reflect how we treat the vulnerable. Period. Even a small support helps. Food, shelter, rescue, medical care. Kindness doesn't have to be loud. It just has to be consistent. So, as we gather ourselves to look upon some of these things that we have available to us, we can do something, not only for ourselves, but for our environment, for our family and friends, things that can become an ongoing cycle so others can benefit. This is why we're here, to reflect and make us all aware of what you already have inside. Things that you already know you have there is just harnessing and accessing it, so you become the person you want to be. You follow the journey you've always wanted to follow, and you are making the life you always wanted to make. It's not without challenges, not without difficulties, but this is part of the program. It's part of what you need to do, if that's what you want, is to follow who you are, to become the person you want to be. So there are many ways to approach it. We're going to give a symbiotic approach to the way it works for myself and others that have done it already. So it's meant to be very natural. You will certainly come into many wonderful challenges of how the difference is between using your intuition and not using it. So, because of the charitable factors, we do have a program that we're putting together as well. So, this is just a little poem to just help you remind you. So, do you know what's great and truly innate? When you dedicate, then allocate, you generate and motivate, orchestrate and punctuate. What resonates beyond the gates can illustrate and elevate. Demonstrate what you create and choose to cultivate by celebrating your giving state. The energy you activate, it educates, helps others emulate, builds real power because you donate. So, when we could, or we would, or we should, remember, this is a place, should you wish, you can always donate to help these causes. PayPal.me/AHD Hollywood. PayPal.me/AHD Hollywood. AHD for Alexander Hollywood Diamonds. So just so you know, PayPal does take a small portion of each donation. So people decide what feels right for them. So allow this when we could, or when we could. Remember, PayPal.me/AHD Hollywood. So I'm just going to encapsulate this with you, that this is just the beginning of hopefully many different sessions and episodes that we're about to put together. It's the beginning stages. This is something that we wanted to do for a while. We're going to include entertainment, music, dance, song. We'll have highlights of bits and pieces of all the segments that I covered and more. So your participation will be welcome. We'll be looking forward to you becoming an integral part of this, because this will be a place where you can have a home base of where you can start implementing all the things you always wanted to do. And we have, I'll have an email already. I have an email already set up for all of you, but we'll put it in so you can have an opportunity to be in the database. In any case, my best thoughts and best wishes are always with you, as they always have been. So we look forward to the next episode. Thank you for stopping by and taking a look at it. We look forward to seeing you on the next one.